blues and my inner soul. But it's still a blessing to be here. This morning, our Heavenly Father, it's once again your humble servant comes to you, asking you to remove self, hide me behind your throne of grace. Father God, we're asking that you send a message that, not for me, but somebody might come running, saying, what must I do to be saved? Father God, we thank you for all of those that are here today. Give them what they stand in the need of, Father. Father God, whatever it is, you know it all. You said you knew every hair on their head, even when they was in their mother's womb. Bless this pastor of this church. Bless the ministers on the roster. Bless all of those who are out in the pews. Dear Father, we couldn't thank you enough, even if we had 10,000 tongues. Then, oh God, we ask you to deliver this word. These and other blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. And all of God's people said amen. And amen. Definitely want to thank you for your participation. I'm not going to be before you long, but there is a word from the Lord. If you have your Bibles or your cell phone apps or whatever it is that get your words to you, I need you to turn to the book of Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter, the 9th through the 12th verse. Very familiar passage of scripture. If you're available and you're able to stand for the reading of God's word, Ecclesiastes, 9th chapter, 10th through the 12th verse. 12:15. We're not going to be there long. 9th chapter, the 9th through the 12th verse. When you have it, say amen. Amen. And it reads, live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of the vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. I returned and saw under the sun, that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happening to them all. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of man snared in the evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. I would like to look at a particular verse, verse 11. Many of you know this as this. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that endureth until the end. This morning, I want you to look at your neighbor and tell them to keep it moving. You may be seated. Keep it moving. The title indicates that we should not be stagnant, not lifeless in our Christian lives. We should not be sitting on our doolittle doing nothing. In this world, in our lives, in the day of our Christian lives, we need to keep it moving. Just to let you know, the book of Ecclesiastes was written by King David's son, and some have given him a title of a teacher. In verse 9, the writer is talking to all of us married folks. Now, I know it's youth Sunday, and all of our young people are not married, and some of them may even have the same thing I had and said they would never get married. But let me tell you something. This is something that God is telling us to do. How do I know? Because the Bible says that we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. For some of you, you might not understand that, but that means that sooner or later, the older you get, the flesh wants the flesh.
Right.
So we have to understand that in this text, we need to realize is that God is telling us to be married because he says in the scripture for all you Bible readers, it is better to marry than to marry. In other words, the things that you're doing outside of marriage can cause you to be in a burning hell. But then, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to say about everybody else, but let me let you know something. I'm Pastor Orlando Weeks. I've been married for 23 years, 8 months, and 20 days. My daughter is 24. My oldest daughter is 27. So in other words, there's some things that I did that was not becoming to the Lord. But guess what? Many of them in this church are still, I'm going to leave that alone. Because here it is, we have to realize is that all of us have sinned and fell short of the glory of God. All of us have been in sticky situations. And all of us have been doing things in our lives that are not acceptable to God. But you have received, and all of those things that we've done, God said that I will forgive you and you can be saved by grace. First in verse 9, he's telling us to be married altogether because this is something that God is sanctifying. He's telling us to be married because he also says to be fruitful and to multiply. And then in verse 10 he says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave. Whither thou goest, simply put, we need to keep it moving. Scripture tells us to work while it's day, because when night cometh, no man can work. Now, for the young people, the night is a representation of death. And the light is representation of your life. So what he's saying is, as long as there's breath in your body, as long as you're walking and talking, as long as you're doing whatever you're doing, you need to continue to work for the Lord. So I don't know who it is in here, but sometimes we don't want to do nothing. Sometimes you want the preacher to do everything. Many times you want the pastor to go visit everybody when he can. Many times you want the associates to do things that you could do on your own. Now let me let you know, I'm talking to everybody today, not just the young people. Because there is work for all of us to do. So while you still have breath in your body, you need to keep it moving. God has instructed us to keep it moving, whether in the choir, on the deacon board, usher board, hospitality committee, Sunday school, youth ministry, or even in the pulpit. As Christians, there is still work for us to do. We must all keep it moving. Now the men have been told to enjoy their wives that God has given them. Now that all of us have been told to work because there is no work in the grave. Now we must take in consideration the fact that the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that endured to all the end. And in this thing, he's giving us a life where he's indicating that we are in a race. Now we're all about track, as he said. I don't care if it was 1920, but any of you are running and have noticed that you had to have a starting point. Whatever it is, and whenever you decide that you want to become into this Christian life, that is your starting point. Because all of us have started at different sections of our life. Many of us started later than we should. Many of us started early, got out, and came back. But our starting points are all different. See, when you look at it, maybe you ran the 100-meter dash. Maybe you ran the 200 or the 400, but something about these races that you need to know. In all of these three races, there's one thing that all of us have in common. They had to stay in their own lane. In those races, they had to stay in the lane in which they was given by the coach. Even in our Christians there, we need to stay in our own lane. It doesn't matter how many people or what you think you can do. We need to stay in our own lane. We only have one pastor, a few assistants, one deacon of the chairman board, one deacon of the trustees, one leader of the choir. So in other words, you need to learn how to be an Indian instead of everybody trying to be a chief. Keep it moving.
All right.
See, in those races, you had to stay in your lane. But here it is. The other part says, the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to he that endureth until the end. The word endurance means you have strength. You have been trained to go long distances.
Right.
But in those races, guess what? You don't have to stay in your own lane. You can find an area in which you fit. See, even in our churches, we need to find an area in which we fit. We need to find something that God has given us the talent to do. And then we need to get in that and keep it moving. While we keep it in mind, we must be reminded of 4 things. First of all, we need to be reminded of the starting point. In other words, you don't never forget from whence you came. You always need to remember from which you started. Secondly, we must remember in what direction are we going. Are we going north, south, east, or west? Or our lives, are we going up, or are we going down? And then thirdly, we must, then the condition of, can somebody say condition? Which condition that we are traveling. Some of us have to travel through ice and snow and water and rain and dirt and whatever it is. You need to know which condition you're going. I'm telling you right now, you don't need to go to California right now in a trench coat, because the conditions are not like they are here. See, if you know what your condition is, then you know how to prepare for it. If you know in which direction you're going, you know which way to go. So clearly here it is, not only should we know our starting point, and not only should we know our direction, and not only should we know our condition, but finally we got to know our final destination. In other words, you have to know where you're trying to go in order to prepare how to get there. See, that's the drive, boy. You know where you're going. You know what it takes to get there, so you need to keep it moving. See, Psalms 27:1, lets us know that even as we travel up and down these highways, even as we try to live a life as Christians, even as we try to do our best according to his will, there's going to be some obstacles. Right. There's going to be some downfalls, some pitfalls, and let me let you know something, young people. Just because you're a Christian, that don't mean it's going to be easy. As a matter of fact, it's going to be harder. Because I tell people all the time, the devil don't mess with people he already got. The devil is looking to pluck somebody out of God's reign. He's looking to take somebody away so you can't invite your friend to church. He wants to take you out and make you look bad, so they'll tell him that's what Christians do. He wants to move you out of the situation so you can't bring other young people. But still, and yet, even though you come to obstacles, even though you're dealing with situations that you can't get through, even though people are lying on you, even though people are tweeting on you, even though people are putting bad Facebook, even though people are on Instagram and Snapchatting about you, keep it moving. Simply because the scripture lets us know that what's going to happen if you serve God. Y'all want to know what's going to happen? Psalm 27:2 says, when the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat of my flesh, they stumbled and fell. In other words, if you got Jesus Christ on your side, don't worry about who's after you. Don't worry about who's talking about you. Don't worry if you make a mistake. Don't worry, because he says they will stumble and fall. See, I'm glad to know that even though I'm not as good as I ought to be, I thank God I'm not what I used to be. Because sooner or later, as you keep it moving, you'll get closer and closer to what? Your destination. In other words, in whatever you do, I need you to realize that God is going to guide you to your destination. But first, you have to accept him for yourself. Mama can't do it. Daddy can't do it. They can pray for you, but you still have to do it for yourself. Keep it moving. Now, as we're looking at it, you need a few examples of look no further than a few of these men. The sea could not stop Moses. everybody Bible readers know he stretched out his rod and open came the sea, and they went across on what? Dry land. See, I don't know who it is in here, but sometimes something has to be parted in your life. Something has to be moved out of your life. Something has to be opened up in order for you to get to the other side. The water and the sea could not stop Moses. And then also Joshua, the wall couldn't stop Joshua. I'm not talking about Trump's wall. I'm talking about the wall of Jericho. If you remember, they walked around it 7 times. And on the 7th time, the wall came tumbling down. The wall could not stop Joshua because it wasn't Joshua that knocked it down. The Bible said that he that is in me is greater than he that is in the world. Joshua and Moses did what? They kept it moving. Not only did Joshua, look at David, the giant, couldn't stop David. Many of you realize that people are larger than you. Situations are bigger than you. Things you go through are much greater than you are. But as long as you got Jesus on your side, the Bible says, it says I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. In other words, well, if you got Christ in your life, it doesn't matter what the obstacle is. You can go over it, under it, around it, or through it. As long as you got Jesus on your side. Now the water couldn't stop Moses. The wall couldn't stop Joshua. The giant couldn't stop David. Death couldn't stop Jesus. What am I saying? It couldn't stop Jesus because Jesus came down through 42 generations. See, death couldn't stop the man that unstopped their fear. Death couldn't stop the man who gave sight to the blind. Death couldn't stop the man that fed a multitude with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. See, death couldn't stop the man who went up onto the hill called Calvary. Death couldn't stop the man that carried his own cross. See, not only did he carry his cross, but he carried you and I cross. See, because we are still sinners that are saved by grace. Somebody said, "Isn't that amazing grace? How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see." What's that saying? That sooner or later in your life, you need to put your hand in God's hand and tell him all about your troubles. But let him know that I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to move up into a higher place so that man might see my good works. And he will glorify the Father who is in heaven. I want you to know that death couldn't stop that man because he had no servants, but yet they called him master. Death couldn't stop that man because he had a degree, but they didn't call him a teacher. Death couldn't stop that man that had medicines, but they called him a healer. Death couldn't stop that man that had no army, but the kings feared him. Death couldn't stop that man who won the military battles, but he conquered the world. He committed no crime, but yet they crucified him. Am I right about it? He hung there on that old rugged cross, somewhere between the 6th and the 9th hour. They tell me that he hung his head in his locks of his shoulders. They tell me that he gave up the ghost. They say that he didn't get his life taken, but he laid it down. He died. Didn't he die? He died. I said he died. But they took him down off that old rugged cross. They placed him in a borrowed tomb. But somebody said that I'm so glad that that's not how the story ends. 3 days later, your table. Activities of your limbs. Consciousness in your brain. Keep it moving. Find you a slot where you can fit in. The young people say, get in where you fit in. I'm letting you know that there's something for all of us to do. May God bless you and may God keep you.